This next one.
I mean, unless you want to answer Jared's question there. How long do you think the...
No. We'll get that in a bit.
Okay.
All right. So, moving on to our next topic.
Oh, okay.
Jordan Gilliand from the Zelda Informer Facebook page. We did get one comment on there because I shared this over to there. I probably won't be doing that in the future, but so Jordan, if you're listening, make sure you go to the Nintendo Prime Facebook page to submit your questions next time. What I'd like to know is, after Breath of the Wild, will Nintendo use Breath of the Wild as a base game, like they did with Ocarina of Time, for the next Zelda games? And if all games are similar to Breath of the Wild, will it be boring? This is tough. I might have more to say about this just because I've been doing Zelda for so long. Not doing Zelda, but playing Zelda games for a lot longer than you. Let me quantify this a bit in saying that I think Breath of the Wild is going to end up being the best Zelda game ever made.
Yeah.
I mean, period.
Yeah.
And I played all of them. I played the CDI games. I played all the crappy stuff. Zelda 2 is my favorite game of all time. And not my favorite game of all time. My favorite Zelda game of all time. Secret of Mana is my favorite game of all time. And it's really weird because a lot of people don't like Zelda 2, but I just love it. The combat, the difficulty, everything that people hate it for is why I love it. So, but this game is doing something to Zelda I didn't think was possible. It's taking everything I love about all the individual entries and putting it together. Mm-hmm. The open world from Zelda 1, loved it. Part of it was in Zelda 2, part of it was in A Link to the Past, part of it was in even Ocarina of Time and Link's Awakening, but only part. It wasn't as free as Zelda 1, and then it kind of went away. It kind of became a linear kind of franchise. And that is not how it's tackled in this game. It's open world. I like things like the rune abilities, and there's just a lot of Zelda-esque things going on while making significant changes to the series. Like, this Link doesn't have a green tunic, as far as we're aware.
I'm pretty sure it probably can, but...
Yeah, maybe.
I know we had dyes.
Yeah.
Wasn't there dyes to dye cloth?
I have no idea.
If I remember right.
I have no idea. So I sit here and I'm looking at Breath of the Wild as a base game like Ocarina of Time. What he means is that every Zelda game since Ocarina of Time has basically been built upon what Ocarina of Time set up, the formula of how to make a Zelda game. Okay. I'd argue it was actually a Link to the Past to set up that formula, but whatever. Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, the point still remains. Will Breath of the Wild be the basis for all Zelda games moving forward? Do you want it to be the basis for Zelda games moving forward?
If it's anything like Breath of the Wild, I'm game.
Well, that's the thing. It's like all the people that thought Ocarina of Time was the best game in the world, like they wanted just another one.
Yeah.
And another one, and another one.
I think the way it is set up, there's so much, like I said before, there's so much to do, and the replayability of it is so great that I think if there's another game like it with a different story, there's no possible way it can get boring because there's so many different things you can do.
Yeah. This is tough because I've always been someone that wants Zelda to keep advancing forward. And Breath of the Wild feels like a massive push forward. And I don't want that to be the pinnacle, and this is the best Zelda can ever be. I want it to keep pushing forward. So, yes, I want them to maybe base it on Breath of the Wild, but do even more.
Right.
Go beyond Breath of the Wild. What that is, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Land-wise, they start bringing in the outside worlds. They bring Termina in from Majora's Mask, and they bring maybe the lands that are mentioned in the comics or whatever. Just bring in all the extra lands besides Hyrule. But even that, it's just Breath of the Wild is, to me so far, Zelda perfection. And as Eiji Nomo and Mr. Miyamoto recently stated, they agree that this is the essence of what Zelda is. And so the first time they have both agreed that this game personifies basically what Zelda is. Whether or not you like it or disagree because of breaking all the traditions, whatever, that doesn't really matter per se when the people who the person who invented Zelda and the person who runs Zelda now both agree that this is what Zelda is supposed to be.
Yep.
Then it is what it is. I think that they should base it on it like they done for Ocarina of Time. I just think there needs to be almost a limit. Like, don't go for 16 years before you decide to change. Like, I want Breath of the Wild to set a standard, not just for how Zelda games will be handled in the future in terms of physics engine and world building, but I also want it to be an example of not being afraid to change. And if there's one thing I want Breath of the Wild to set an example for, it's that don't go back to the gimmicks. Don't go back to the wall merging, otherwise it's a link to the past.
Yeah.
Or, in Majora's Mask, you can transform with masks and gain ability with masks, but otherwise it's just Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Which, there's more to it than that, I know. Don't go get to me about the side quests and the stories, but it's all built around the mask system.
Yeah.
I would rather it be like Breath of the Wild where it feels natural. That's what Breath of the Wild has, like a Sheikah Slate that was originally supposed to be a Wii U pad, and it's got rune abilities, it's got all these aspects, but it feels like everything flows together and works in a natural progression for what Zelda should be. Versus this is the one thing and everything is built around it, and that's really what I want things to be like moving forward. So yes, I think they should use it as a basis, but also learn from it.
Yeah.
That Zelda shouldn't ever say that's stagnant again.
Right.
Right. So will it be boring? I don't think it's going to be boring for a while yet. I think they could do a direct sequel. I think they could do two or three more games that are exactly like Breath of the Wild, just with new storylines and new whatever. But eventually they'll have to move on from it. Eventually, I hope.
Yeah.
I just hope that it's so far out I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
Because Breath of the Wild is just that good.
Yeah.
Maybe make a trilogy series out of how Breath of the Wild does things. And I don't want it to go back to not do it. Like, I just want, then what's the next step after it?
Yep.
So basically, I want every future Zelda game to be open world, every future game to have a physics engine, but what's next?
Yep.
And eventually we have to figure out what that is. I am not Nintendo. I can't tell them. I haven't played Breath of the Wild all the way through yet, because I don't want to be like, oh, well, this should be next. Well, maybe that's already in Breath of the Wild. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
So, like, get back to me once Breath of the Wild's out, and then we can probably maybe revisit this topic, because we're basing this on a demo. We're basing this on trailers. Let's play the full game and then come back and be like, okay, is this where we want Zelda to keep going? Because we don't even know where Breath of the Wild's going entirely yet.
Right.
And then another person, I believe it was on Twitter, they said, how many hours, this is from Jared Gaither, at Jared M. Gaither, how many hours do you think Zelda will take to 100%? Give us your best guess.
Oh, God.
Here, let me quantify this. The Completionist, which is a YouTube channel that does takes 7 days to try to 100% every single game that they play. He asked Miyamoto and Ichinomo if this game could be 100%ed in 7 days, and they said no. And then they clarified later, this game can't be 100%ed.
I was actually just going to say that.
So I just wanted to give you some background on this. So I don't know something that you don't.
Right. Actually, that was my train of thought. I was actually seriously going to say I really don't know if this game could actually be 100% complete.
Well, every game can be 100% complete.
This might take you 3-4 years to do it, but I guess.
Is that what you're putting on there?
I guess, yeah. I mean,
I don't know how many hours that is. A lot of hours.
Seems freaking huge. I mean, the map is gigantic, and to find everything in all the maps and beat all the bosses, all everything, that's gonna take a long time.
See, this is weird. Like, Hyrule Warriors could take like up to 1,000 hours to 100% because of how it's set up and with all the DLC. I don't think it's going to take as long as Hyrule Warriors because it's not that kind of game. I do think it's going to take still a long time. Like, they always estimate, Zelda games take 40 hours to beat, and it's usually your first playthrough. When you go back and you perfect it 100%, it goes a lot faster. I think Breath of the Wild, I'm gonna kind of lock down on the 250 hour mark, and I feel like because it's open world games always have a lot longer hours to be able to 100%. The big question is going to be that there is a report out there that there's multiple endings. It's a rumor right now. And if there's multiple endings, that means to truly 100% the game, you have to play through it twice. Now, one of those endings might be able to be experienced by beating him right away. So,
Yeah.
take that for what you will. Maybe that doesn't actually add a lot of time. But, there could be certain events you need to 100% to a point in the game to get a certain ending. So, it's one of those things where I feel like you're going to have to play through this game at least twice to experience everything in it. Which is why they might say it's impossible to 100% in one playthrough, because it is.
Yeah.
Because you can't get both endings in one playthrough.
Yeah.
So I feel like, and that's assuming there's only 2. What if there's more?
Yeah.
And does this create more splits in the timeline? Oh,
Yeah.
all this crazy stuff. I feel like 250 hours is a pretty fair mark. I can't complain about 250 hours of entertainment.
Yeah. Right.
And no, I'm saying that for like someone's first time 100% in it. Because I think, as I said, once you know how to 100% it, it'll be a lot cleaner runs. Like there'll be a guide that comes up with it right away that'll basically tell you how to 100% the game. And if you follow that guide, maybe it'll take you less than 250. But I'm thinking 250. I could be wrong. Could only end up being 100 for all I know, and I'd be fine with that. But I doubt it.
Yeah.
Like me alone, just to 100% the plateau, because I'm going to do that before I leave it. At least I'm going to try to do what I think is 100% in the plateau.
Well,
before
that's
I
the
leave
thing.
it.
That's
But
the thing.
what I
How
think
will
is
we ever know
what I think
if
is 100%.
we actually 100% the game? That's the thing. Is anybody going to truly know?
Well, you'll know. You'll know. Because it's not that hard to... It's not... I won't say it's hard, but it's not impossible to explore every inch of, like, an area. So, like, you'll know that you did everything possible in that area.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think... yeah, I think it's a fair assessment. I think I'm going to end up spending, like, 5 hours just in the opening area. Just because I want to find everything.
Yeah.
And now, granted, I do have the experience from E3, so, like, I do know where some things are.
Yeah.
I know how to get the fire rod. I know where Steptalis is to knock him
Yep.
down. I know... The one thing I don't know, which is what I wanted to get on video, is I never figured... Like, I found it once, and I couldn't find it again, where that one guardian that was buried in the ground by the one shrine... apparently he could have been beaten the demo, so it makes me mad that I couldn't find him again, because I would have tried to beat him.
Yeah.
Because then, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. That's what we got.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, we are so excited for this game.
Long time to 100%. Let's just
Go ahead and keep asking more Breath of the Wild questions. We
Oh, yeah.
love this game so far. And if we do happen to get a review copy, we'll let you guys know. And you guys can ask me more questions about it. Maybe we'll do a Q&A about it. And I'll very strictly lay down what things I'm not allowed to talk about. So you don't ask me questions where I just can't answer.
Right.
Because there's always going to be like a certain point Nintendo doesn't want me to talk about things.